So a lot of folks, a lot of players, and this probably isn't you, but I'm making a broader statement now. A lot of players like to fuck around and find out. What I mean by that is they don't play serious all the time. They'll just like screw around and they'll do it under the guise of, oh, well, I don't really want to take this game that seriously. I'm not really trying to be that try hard. But really, as a player myself, as a competitor myself, when I start to play not as focused, it's because I can't play fully locked in all the time. I just can't do it. No one can. Everyone gets tired eventually. So, like I stopped playing just now. I'm not done playing games. I'm not done engaging and hanging out with you all, but I'm done with that portion of the stream. I am mentally cooked, and that means I don't have any more energy to put in to like playing Tekken of any skill better than like trash. Basically, that's what that means. And like when you're trying to force your way through that, you're gonna have a bad time. You need to just take a break. Really have to take a break. And and you're gonna get tired. You just are. That's because these games are really mentally taxing. They will wear you out. Uh it's not a physical sport, but it sure as hell is a mental one. So the first answer to this question is take a break. And I know this is the obvious answer. I know that, but I want to like be real. I want this person to be realistic about like what try hard mode means. You you can't be that way all the time. You just can't. As you get better and more practice, you will be at a higher base level. So your non-try hard mode gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then your try hard mode gets, well, your try hard mode, your focus mode may not get stronger if you don't practice it. If you don't spend time really locked in, like noticing everything you possibly can, working at the edge of your capabilities with your skill level, if you don't spend time there, regardless of your actual objective skill level, which is always going to be relative, whatever that is for you, whatever your peak is, whatever your particular edge is, if you don't spend enough time there, ideally on a daily basis, then you're going to have a hard time and you're going to get tired. Now, I always bring everything back to tournaments. I feel like I'm always talking to tournament players. But that's where my experience comes from. That's what I am. I'm a tournament player. So, like, I'm always going to frame it around that. Because like, all my training is always geared toward how do I play better in a tournament setting. It also just focuses my own energy. Because it's hard to be like, well, you want to try hard? Well, so what? For how long? Who cares? Why? For what? Why can't you just take a break? Why can't you just step up and walk away? Why can't you just play 2 games or 3 games and then just stop? Because you're cooked. Unless you want more than that. How many games do you want to play before you get cooked? What's your goal? How long do you want to play before you get cooked? Mentally. You got to figure those things out. Like, you actually have to figure that out. You have to think of it. You have to sit down and think, what are your goals? What are my training goals? This sounds very much like working out. Literally, you can't achieve your goal if you don't know what your goals are. And you have to set them. Which means that you might not make them. These two. You might miss your goal. You might not get there, but you gotta set them. You can set a time limit on them if you want. I don't. For these kind of goals, because I find it to be too much pressure for myself. But I'm also, there isn't like a game other than Virtual Fighter that I really want to get like super good at right now. So I'm just kind of waiting for the next game to come out. And if I get really good at this, I get good at it. But like, I'm not focused on it, right? What kind of goals do you set? Beating players' rank? That's a fantastic question, Songs for Lizards. Um, well, to keep it focused to what this person's question is, which I'm going to keep it on the screen. I think that actually helps. This grounds us better, I think. Okay. I like to focus on execution of techniques in matches, not wins or ranks. Yeah. That's always a good goal. It's a good short-term goal, especially. What kind of goals do you set? Beating players or rank? It depends. And I am going to focus it still on this point of like try hard mode. And like how to be in that mode and not getting tired after the first round. And framing that around your goals. So let's imagine for a second. When I'm training against my partner, who's just as good as I am at the game, right? That person. And I have to try hard against them. If we're both in try hard mode for the first round, we're both going to be potentially equally cooked after the first round's over. So the goal there is, one goal could be not to not get cooked, because I'm going to get cooked just like they are. My goal might be, I want to get less cooked than they do. And whoever can stay less cooked than the other will be able to play better and stronger for longer than the other person when you play a longer set. That's one goal you could set for yourself. I want to be less cooked than my opponent. How can you measure that? Your performance against that player over time. It's also why it's nice to have training partners that you can like come back to on a very regular basis. This is also good. This is also what's good about ranked, is that you can just find a lot of random players who are just random. And you don't know them. You're not going to fight them again, most likely. And you have a pretty good measure of your ability to stay tuned in enough to fight other players who, for whatever reason, are at the same rank you are. Which is supposed to be indicative of a skill level, right? It's an abstract answer. A more direct answer would be, I'm not going to use Tekken here because my goals in Tekken are different than they are for Virtual Fighter, and my goals in Tekken are like harder to. I think it'll confuse people basically. So I'm not going to use that as an example. Maybe I will. I don't know. My goal in Tekken is to create chaos in brackets. I just want to be that motherfucker that people are like, damn, I gotta fight Tricky. Shit. That's what I want. That's all I want to be. That's my goal for Tekken. That's my entire goal for Tekken. I just want to stress motherfuckers out. I just want to be there and be like, oh shit, Tricky's in the bracket. I want to instill that feeling in people. Okay, that's all I want. So my goal isn't actually performance based. It's a feeling based. I want to induce a feeling in my opponents when I see them in a fight. I want them to feel a very particular way when they face me. Yeah, I want to. Oh yes. I want to be a gremlin in tournaments. That's all I want to be. I don't need to win them. I'm not planning on winning tournaments in Tekken. I just want to be a menace. I just want to be a fucking menace. A fucking pest. Okay? That's all I want to be. I want to be there to steal rounds. I want to steal your matches. I want to say you lose. I want to eliminate motherfuckers from bracket. I just want chaos. Okay? That's all I want. I don't care if I win any events. I really don't. Oh, the VF Nation don't play. Oh, because VF takes so much out of me. So like, I would have to, unless I just magically, supposedly, by luck, get very good, and then I can like, go for wins. But I have no assumption that that's going to be possible right now. I don't know it's going to be possible yet. With no mental damage, goal not complete. Yes. Yes. Well, in order to create the mental damage, I have to beat them. So the first goal is to start beating people in brackets. That's the first goal. I don't need to win the tournament, but I want to beat good players in brackets. What's a good player mean? I don't know. Someone didn't go 1 and 2. Someone didn't go 2 and 2. Someone went 3 and 4, maybe. Or 4 and 2 or 3 and 2, whatever. Right? Top 8, top 16. Right? So right now, I use tournaments as a measure. They're a measuring rod. They're a measuring stick. See, okay, where am I right now? And I just want to know where I am so I can see, okay, where can I go? And how much effort am I willing to put in to get to that next spot where someone else might be, right? That's the whole thing. That's how I set my goals. So back to this try hard question. I'm always trying hard. So I personally thrive in that environment of we're both focusing really hard and are just cooking our brains because of it. I do really well in that situation. Partly because of how I organize information. So potentially that's part of the answer to this person's question. Those notes I went over earlier in the last video, if you're watching this on YouTube and if you're in chat that went earlier today, how I chunk information, that's actually how I stay in try-hard mode without cooking myself. I create mental routes based on the player, and then I pick those routes, and I only adjust if I need to. I find that 50% of the players are better than you if you do the maths. This is where the rank thing is usually useful, like the rank graphs, because those are out there. If you're above, if you're in purple or above, you're top 10% of the player base. 90% of players are worse than you. 90% is a big number. It's a lot of players. Sounds like Live Rain likes to play defense, which is definitely harder in Tekken 8. Both learn it and execute. It is. It depends what rank they are, too, for how exhausting it might be. I'm mainly using Virtual Fighter as my base for the experience of exhaustion, though. Cause that's another game that exhausts people. They'll mentally get drained before they get physically drained in their hands. So, regardless of what you have to do in the game, relative to other players, cooked is cooked, right? So maybe focusing on while on offense might help break them into more try-hard time before being mentally tired. Past red ranks to drop off the steep, yeah. Within red ranks to drop off the steep, Tenryu is they're the big drop eyes, and then after that it's nosedive. That's why it's wild when people are real Tekken doesn't start till Tekken God. I'm bro, really? You mean good Tekken? You mean real Tekken starts a little lower than that? If you want to rank you in top 9, yeah, right. That's red. Do you think from red to purple is achievable if I turn more? I don't know where you are now, Tenzu. There are 3 purple levels. The bells over rank in Tekken 8. The ranks, it's a normal distribution, y'all. It's organized. The distribution of ranks looks normal, which means that all things you would infer from percentile ranks is accurate. Richard, you didn't miss it. It's in progress. We're doing the review as we play, and then after we play Birth to Fire tomorrow, then we'll do a proper review for it. But I won't do a full review on it until I have that data. You're a Garyu? Okay, cool. Well, I mean, you're fine. Yes. If you learn some more, you can get out of there. Only in blue and gold it's 4. Yeah, blue it's 4, you're right. You gotta learn a little bit more. So that'd be my advice to this person. You can't avoid getting tired and getting cooked for being in tryhard mode. What you have to do is work it as a muscle. You have to work the muscle of being focused. In spurts. You can't grind. This is one of those things you can't grind out. You actually have to do it over time. This is part of why you see me play every day for a little while, because that helps my brain be able to stay locked in longer and longer and longer. So the more you do it, more regularly you do it, the stronger and more efficient you're going to be at staying locked in. That's my answer to this question. Hopefully it was helpful. I like doing these, when someone leaves a comment, it's meaty on my videos, that I can do a longer video on it like this. I like doing